Okay, today we're going to be playing the Arcanist in the default configuration at the normal difficulty. Just doing a full run through, kind of trying to explain a few mechanics of the game and what you can do with the default cards without any of the special add-ons. So we'll be selecting New Game over the Arcanist, Default Portrait, and we'll be using the Forcewand. So the Forcewand is built around this chain mechanic, which you can see at the top is explained as increase the damage of the next action by 1 per stack. Chain fades if a played card did not increase chain. So every chain card you play adds more chain and does more damage or does more of the effect that it does. And then if you play a card that does not have chain, all of your chain stacks will expire. So if you play other card games like maybe Magic the Gathering, this is the same as Storm in Magic. So we'll be taking the Forcewand, we'll be taking Arcane Weapon, we can activate this and we'll gain health for every magic action in our deck. This is going to help us stay alive. And we'll take Shocking Grasp. So this deals damage equal to our chain. If you have 5 or more chain, inflict 2 shocked. So inflicting shocked is kind of like a delayed stun on an opponent is essentially what it does. So that'll also help us lock down enemies and give us a bit more time to do damage without taking quite as much retaliation. So we'll not be playing on Impossible, we'll be playing on Normal, the default mode. We're going to make sure we're starting in the base game starting area, and we're only going to be playing with the cards that are available if you have the base version of the game. So this is really how it would be if you just downloaded it. With one small exception, because I have already leveled this character all the way through, I believe I have a little bit more starting gold, a little bit more starting life, and I have this healing potion as well that you won't have if you've just freshly downloaded the game. These things aren't enough to make or break a run on normal difficulty, so don't worry about that. Anyhow, let's start this. So we're going to go in for the first enemy and just kind of see what this build really does. Okay, so we can play our Surge, gain some extra blue energy, and then just unload all of our Forcewands. So you're going to see every Forcewand is increasing this chain. So right now it's each one of them adds 2. We're at 4 because we played 2. I'll add another one. It goes up to 6, and the Forcewand does a bit of extra damage. Opponent will do a little bit of damage back to us. Okay, so now we won't be able to do a lot of damage because we can't generate a lot of chain. What I'm actually just going to do is I'm just going to play this shield, hold on to my energy, and pass. Because I would rather have more energy in the next turn to be able to play more Forcewands in a row. Okay, we got kind of unlucky here. Didn't really draw much more. I'm just going to go ahead and use some of my energy because I'm still carrying 2 over. Cool. Okay, now we've got 3 Forcewands. We'll fire them off. Easy kill. Okay, we get some experience. We get some cards. So in terms of selecting cards in this game, in general, don't just select cards because they're available. Only select them if you need them. When you're starting the game, it's of course hard to know what you need, and you're just going to have to do many runs to sort of figure out what works for a certain build. Because I already know sort of what I'm looking for, I'm only going to stick to things I know are good. This Gathering Storm card can be quite decent in a chain build. Not the best, but it's quite good at the start. So we lost some life, we're now at 75, and we're going to activate our weapon power. So whenever we activate this, we're going to gain 7 health for every magic action in our deck. Bam. So we gain 7 health. And now in 3 combats, we can use that again. We'll just go look at one of these opportunities. Red caps, don't eat them, they will poison you. Healthy Tusk Boar. You know what? Let's just fight him. So this is like a boss or like a mini boss enemy. You can tell by the fact that his portrait looks a bit more aggro. He's got this little skull here. And this one also has an ability at the top. So you see that sort of that screaming face over him. This gives him Enrage. So start of turn he gains 1 anger. So he'll do 1 more damage on every attack per turn. If there were another enemy here within these choices and I selected that enemy first, the boss would apply his buff to that enemy. So it's usually worth attacking enemies first that have some kind of buff like this, or else they will apply it to all the other enemies. Not much we can do here, just play all our cards. get the 2 blue mana, play the 2 Forcewands. No real point in holding on to anything there. We'll just play all 3 Forcewands, play a block to mitigate some damage. Here you're going to see what Gathering Storm does as well. So this does 4 damage, and it has Echo. So Echo for each turn, this card remains in your hand, which is of course 0 because you just drew it, and it has Persistent, which means a persistent card you do not discard at the end of turn. So I'm going to pass, and you're going to see Gathering Storm was not discarded. And now you can see where it says Echo for each turn this card remains in your hand is now 1. So if I play this now, it will actually play it twice. If I play it next turn, it'll play it 3 times, etc., etc., etc. So this is really good against opponents where the game goes on for a long time. And it's also affected by Chain. So now it'll do 6 damage twice. The opponent's at 6 life. I'm just going to play this. This will kill the opponent. Easy win. Nothing interesting here for us. So with the Chain build in general, the element you're looking for is lightning. So there's sort of like frost, fire, lightning. And lightning is the chain element. So I think pretty much all chain cards are somehow lightning related. There might be 1 or 2 exceptions there. Oh yeah, you can see that at the bottom. You see at the bottom of this card where it says the name, it says Magic Lightning Action. So yeah, you're going to see that in most chain cards. So let's hit. Oh, by the way, small thing here. You see at the top right corner, this wolf has evasion, which means he can dodge a melee attack. Because we're a magic class, we are doing magic damage, and we don't care. Again, here we can finish him off with a Gathering Storm. This now deals 8 damage, Echo 1, which means it will get played twice, so 1 additional time. Enemy has 12 life. Dead. Okay, Lightning Bolt on the right. This is like a decent chain card to start with. It's like okay. It's very unpredictable simply because the range of damage it does at the base level is 1 to 12. I think it recently just got buffed from 10 to 12. But, you know, okay, so here we're looking at an enemy that has like 10 life. If I play this, it could do 1 damage or it could just kill them. It's just impossible to know. So it's quite unreliable. But you can help that out a little bit by playing some other cards first, because now I've got 4 chain. This is going to lift the floor and the ceiling of this damage up by 4. So now instead of doing 1 to 12, it's doing 5 to 16. So it'll definitely kill the enemy. And it hit for 15, so we almost totally high rolled there. Nothing interesting here for a chain build. So the chain build really has like 2 or 3 cards that are extremely critical for the build that really just make it just become exponentially stronger, and we're really hoping that we can find some of them. Okay, we just went to the shrine here. It's got this transform ability. This allows us to remove a card from our deck and replace it with another card of a higher rarity. So the rarity of the card you can see in the name. Sorry, not in the name, but in the description down here. So this Shocking Grasp card at the bottom says Magic Lightning Action. It's surrounded by 2 green little symbols. The ranking goes brown. So this is like brown, or I guess that's brown. That's the lowest. Then it goes green, blue, and then it goes orange is like legendary, the best. So we're going to hit this, and we're going to get shown 3 different blue cards. These are frost cards. They're not good for a build. This one's pretty good for chain, actually, because reduce the cost of all cards in hand by 1. So you can draw this, draw a bunch of chain cards, play it. All your chain cards will be either free or a lot cheaper, and then you can just like absolutely chain off and destroy an enemy. It does not permanently reduce the cost, by the way. So you can see how it works now. So you see these Forcewands, they cost 1 generic mana, the 1 white thing. I'm going to play this. Now they're both free. So now I can just play all my spells, and I get to keep the 2 energy for the next turn. This now does 8 damage. Opponent's still at 10. No point playing it. But yeah, we should be able to kill the opponent next turn. Let's see if we can high roll with this lightning bolt. 8. It's pretty good. Let's finish him off with that. Dead. Very good. Okay, we've leveled up. Let's look at this stuff. Okay, so we're looking for, there's few specific talents you want as a chain Arcanist. Let's see if we can find them. Conjurer, meh. Durable, meh. Forgery, not really at this point in the game. Magical Aptitude. Okay, that's a good one. This upgrades all magic actions by 1, and whenever you add a magic action to your deck, upgrade it by 1. We're going to be adding a decent amount of cards to our deck, so that one's pretty good to have. Oh, and here we get another Chain Classic, Stormbolt. So this is a really good card. Not Lightning Bolt. Starbolt. So it deals 5 damage. There's Continuity and Empower. So Continuity works when triggers whenever played after a card of the same type. This is a Magic Lightning action. All of our cards are pretty much Magic Lightning cards. We play a magic card, we play this one, and then we get to conjure a free Zap. Zap is a tiny little card that does 2 damage, but it is free and it adds to our chain. So it's basically just like another chain card to inflate your chain value, to do a little bit of extra damage. And it can sometimes really make a chain build pop off if you get enough little like Zap cards. So let's see if we can use it at some point. We might get to draw it here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so Continuity. I'm going to play a magic card. I'm going to play this, and now we get this free Zap card here on the right. It now deals 5 damage because we have 3 chain, so it's 2 plus 3, and it will also add to the chain. So playing this, bam, chain goes up to 4, and then I can just finish the enemy. There's another Stormbolt. You know what? Why not? I'll just take it. It's a good card. Oh, and I don't know if you saw that. So that little animation where it got added to our deck, it sort of flashed green for a moment. That means it was upgraded as it was put into our deck. Why was it upgraded? Because we took Magical Aptitude. We upgraded all magic actions by 1, and whenever we add one to our deck, we upgrade it by 1. Let's see here. Okay, we'll play a Focus, Stormbolt, Zap, and hit them with Forcewand. Very good. Nothing interesting there. Gonna heal. Go to... You know what? I'm gonna go to one of these campsites first and get rid of some cards. We don't want these blocks. These are just clogging up our deck. It is absolutely possible to have too many cards and dead cards in your deck that are not helping you do anything. And we're also gonna remove... I'm gonna remove one of these surges. So you don't want to fill your deck with too many like meh cards because that reduces the amount of times you're going to draw your really good cards. You basically want to have your deck as streamlined as you can, just full of cards you know are going to do something really good. If you just put in a bunch of cards that are like so-so, you're going to end up in a lot of situations where you draw a hand that does nothing. You're going to take a ton of damage, or maybe just die because you weren't able to do anything. It's much better to have a deck of like 8 cards that perfectly combo than a deck of a lot more that don't. Okay, there's another Gathering Storm here. We only really need 1 though. Let's explore the area a little bit more. Okay, so we killed the boss. There's an additional campsite here. We've lost a bit of life. Let's just use this to go up, back up to near full health and go into the town. Okay, we don't actually have too much money here, but that isn't a big problem. Let's first speak to the console, skip the dialogue, doesn't matter. We're gonna go to the blacksmith. If you still have your weapon power up at this moment, use it before speaking to the blacksmith because the blacksmith resets your weapon power. You'll see I'll speak to him. He's asking me if I want to upgrade something. You know what? I'm gonna do just a simple upgrade rather than upgrade all the cards, and I'm just gonna upgrade this Stormbolt. You know what? It doesn't really matter. Okay, and you see our weapon power is now reset at the bottom right. The Alchemist, we could transmute something, which I am gonna do as well. I'm gonna transmute this card because this isn't super useful right now. And this is good. Okay, so Chain Lightning is probably, in my opinion, the best chain card in the entire game, because this deals 1 to 6 damage, which is actually less than Lightning Bolt, but you gain chain equal to the damage dealt. So it isn't just adding 1 chain like most chain cards, it's adding the damage equivalent as chain. So if you upgrade this a bit, you hit someone with 15, you instantly get 15 chain, you hit the next, you play another one of these, that one adds its damage plus the upgraded chain before, and the damage just kind of goes up exponentially, and you can just one-shot any enemy in the game with like 3 or 4 of these chain lightnings. That being said, this card is also so good for Chain. You can imbue this, and then the first magic action you play, you conjure a free copy of. So, what is Chain good at? It's good at playing a lot of cards in a row. Having a free copy of a card you play is amazing because it just increases your chain, increases your damage. Twinlightning and Twincasting together are an amazing combo. We're going to take Twinlightning though, because I think we can probably get another copy of Twincasting later in the game. We're going to go through the Eastern Blightwoods because that is the core basis game. All right, deal with the bandits, Garvin Greaves. So, let's just go to the opportunity, see what's up here. Mysterious Crates, open, we get some gold. Look at the other opportunity in lieu of enemies. Okay, we can give him a basic attack and remove it from our deck to kind of streamline it a bit more. We don't really need that many. Okay, here's our first enemy. So some of these bandits have kind of annoying abilities where they steal your gold, which is why it can be good to just try and kill them as quickly as possible. Which this build is pretty good at. Let's hit him with this. So we did 4 damage, we get 4 chain. Hit him with this, and now our zap hits him for even more. So that was a pretty good high roll on the Chain Lightning. We're going to try and upgrade it just to make it more and more deadly. This is perfect. So the enemy is 18. This now does 9. It does 9 twice because of Echo. This is our 4 chain, our Echo coming together, plus the upgrade. Kill this enemy on turn 2. We barely took any damage, killed them very easily, and we continue. Use this to heal. Okay, so this is a funny little situation. You know, I said before some of the enemies have these abilities above their heads. Well, now we have 2 enemies with abilities. So no matter which one we fight, it will have both its own ability and the other creature's ability. So in general, what I actually just want to do here is completely avoid fighting them and just go for the shrine instead. Shrine of Potential, okay, we can sacrifice a card here to upgrade other cards. I'm going to give it one of these Forcewands, and it upgraded one of the other Forcewands instead. Again, we shrunk our deck size, we got rid of a card we didn't want, and we upgraded another one. Lady of Mercy, you can either pay and heal, take the gold on the plate, you'll get a little bit of gold, and you'll get a curse, or a corruption, put into your deck. Whenever I draw this card, I'll take damage. I'm going to say no thanks to that and just remove it instantly with one of the campfires. I do not want to be taking a bunch of unnecessary damage. In general, just get those corruptions out of your deck as quickly as you can. They're really going to mess you up. Okay, let's see. Ooh, full 7. So we got full 7 chain from that. Let's see if we can high roll in this too. 16, that's all right. I think the maximum there would have been 21. See, a little bit of RNG in the early game going on here. Let's see how many zaps we can get here. Oh, easy kill. Turn 2 again. So we're getting into the phase where we can turn 2 quite a few enemies. Conduit. This is a great little chain card. This card doesn't do any damage, but it adds chain, and it can draw more cards, and it doesn't cost anything. So it kind of fills up your deck. And I was just saying before, we're trying to make our deck smaller, but with cards like that are free, draw you new cards, and add something beneficial, you can sometimes add quite a few of those to your deck without it being really too detrimental. There's also a second condition you might want to think about trying to fulfill, and that is the Scholar condition. That's basically, there are some cards where if you have 20 or more cards in your deck, they trigger an additional ability. So with Chain, it's pretty likely we're going to end up with more than 20 cards at some point. And then some cards gain incredibly powerful secondary abilities. So sometimes having a few of those filler cards in there that help you to cycle through the deck while giving you bonuses without costing energy can help you boost your primary strategy, such as accumulating chain and doing damage, but they will also help you reach that Scholar condition, which can be very helpful. Let's see what we have here. Healing effects restore 2 additional life during combat. That won't help us because our weapon power restores health outside of combat. Healing from inns always heals you to full health. Probably whatever. Survival instincts, 5 health. You know what? None of these are actually very good, but I guess while we're here, let's just copy a card in our deck. Copy Chainlightning. Get some of these copies going. Oh, and again, that was kind of cool because we copied a card and Magical Aptitude considered that adding a card to our deck and upgraded it on the way in. Nothing interesting here. Let's look at this opportunity. Oh, the Imp. Yeah, sure, we'll take 10 damage and get a random rare. Oh, Spell Echo. That's kind of a cool card. It's a free card that lets you play a free copy of the last magic action you played, but as a downside, it inflicts slow on you, which means that the next cards you draw will cost more energy. So you're sort of trading off immediate power for a bit of loss in the future. So, okay, this is a funny little situation here. We've got 2 energy. We have this Conduit card we put in for free. The thing is, it only actually draws a card if you reach the flow state of 3. And that means you have to play 3 cards before this triggers. We only have 2 energy. We're not going to do that. But even without the flow, it still gains us 2 chains. I'm actually going to play before I play the other cards, just to get the most out of them. If we had more energy there, it would have been probably best to play it last. Okay, we'll gain energy, play Forcewand, play Stormbolt. The enemy's already dead. Again, smooth turn 2 kill. Not going to add anything here. A life is about 3rd down, weapon power up. We're going to use that. And you know what? Because we just used our weapon power, we're going to go straight to the blacksmith. We're going to upgrade one of these Chainlightnings, upgrade the one that has more upgrades. So if we get to copy it in the future, the copy has more upgrades. That'll reset our weapon power again. We're going to use it, gain another 10 life, and then go into battle. So this enemy has first strike. That means they go first. A normal fight, you always start as the player, but first strike enemies do not work that way. We start with Chainlightning, try to high roll, hit them with Stormbolt, hit them with Zap, pass. See, hit them with Chainlightning. YOLO. Nice. Sanguine Scrying. This is basically a free draw too. I mean, it's not free because you're paying life and gaining bleeding, but in terms of energy, it's free. It is a cool card, but not what I want right now. We're going to use the Alchemist here to transmute Spell Echo. This isn't really doing much for us right now, and we're going to try and find Twincasting. Yeah, see, I knew we'd find another copy. So Twincasting is sick. We don't really want to be playing it at this point in the game. We're just holding on to it so we can imbue it later as an enchantment. So we basically have it permanently added to our character as a talent. So there it is. It's also way too expensive to play. It's gonna force shock. There you go. Turn 2 kill. Nothing interesting. Keep on going. Again, don't feel obliged to add cards just because they're there. If your deck is already working and it's getting the job done, and you're not sure if you should add something, just honestly, just don't add it. You will find out through trial and error what is good and what isn't. Nothing interesting here. Keep on going. Let's use our weapon power again. Talking Tree. This is the event that adds the merchant into the game. You have a few choices here, though. You can check the man's boots, steal some money from him. If you leave him tied up, you get a bonus for the rest of this level, the bandit level, where you essentially stun every opponent in the opening turn. So you kind of get like 2 first turns. That is more helpful at the higher difficulties. At this difficulty, I would absolutely just start cutting the ropes and free him, and then take advantage of the cards he's selling. And here he's selling a pretty good card. Twinlightning. This is another pretty good chain card. I'm gonna add it to the deck. The reason this card is good is it hits twice. Where did it go? There it is, Twinlightning. So it does 2 to 8 damage and has chain, but also has echo, which means you cast it and it gets played twice. So that can be like a really strong finisher in a chain deck because you pay 1 energy to deal like all your damage, your chain damage twice essentially. Shrine of Binding. This can give a card, I think, persistent if you place a card in its hand, but I would almost always place your hand in its hand if there's not a specific like build you're going for. This will take 5 max health from you, but going forward, here you see we got Scottish Kiss, lose 5 maximum health. Draw 1 additional card at the beginning of combat. So we're just going to be drawing 1 card more for the rest of the game for the cost of 5 total life. That is absolutely worth the trade-off. Absolutely. What do we start here with? Okay, so you saw Twinlightning just kind of did damage there twice. That was the echo effect triggering. We use one of these. We will chain. Chain, dead. Another Conduit. I'll add that. The thing is, funnily enough, the more conduits you have, the better they get. Like, imagine you had a deck that had 1 damage card and 99 conduits, because once you've played 3 conduits, they start drawing a new card and they're free. You could just draw through your deck until you find the one card that does damage, and by then you'd have like, like 90 chain and just one-shot the enemy. There are obviously some opponents that kind of play around that by applying daze to you, so you can only play a certain amount of cards per turn, or pinned or something, where it's just harder to play the cards you want. But overall, lots of those is good stuff. There you go. I don't know, what was that? Turn 3 on the boss? See, we're already doing very, very well. Counterspell. That's an interesting card. If you play Magic the Gathering, this is very, very evocative. 2 blue mana to essentially counter someone's spell, but I'm not going to take anything here. With Garvin Greaves, you can just finish him, blah, blah, blah. You have some choices here. You can address the remaining bandits. You have a few things to choose here. Invite the bandits back as soldiers, gives you 25 extra gold. You all work for me now, is what I usually take. You get to choose from these 3 cards. Quick Fingers steals a blessing, gives you gold. Crimson Knuckles deals some bleeding, and Dazzle deals gold. But if you just want the big cold payout, you take Ill-Gotten Gains. And you use this once, it gives you 50 golds, and it adds one of those corruption cards to your deck. Fuck. Oh, God damn it, I meant to heal. I'll remove a card. Well, while we're here, you know what, this lightning bolt isn't impressing me much. We're gonna rest. And you know what, I'm gonna remove another Forcewand. I'm not very impressed with these right now either. And now we can leave the area. So there is a way you can play Chain where you just try and upgrade your Forcewand like a billion times, which could be quite effective too, but that's not really what we're going for here. Okay, Consul Evelyn will give us 50 gold. Let's first go to the merchant, because he might have legendary cards that cost 100 gold. And we have more than 100, so it's worth looking at. Nothing interesting here. Let's refresh. We could take Spell Echo, because we can give that to the Alchemist to transmute into something better. But I'm actually going to save my money here. I'm just going to go to the blacksmith and upgrade one of the Chain Lightnings. The reason I want to save money here is in the next Canto, we have the possibility to start seeing, or sorry, not the next Canto, the one after. We have the possibility to start seeing the Bolgar. This guy, Bolgar Blightbane, he's going to join our little troop after we defeat him. And he can start imbuing enchantments for us, so I want to save 100 gold so I can do that later. Here's the Alchemist. What could she do for me? We could always try transmuting Ill-Gotten Gains. That's kind of funny. but no. Wandering Slime, okay. This guy could actually be a bit of a pain in the ass. Because he has this ability that does like 1,000,000,000 damage if he hits you with it. Let's see how low we can get him before he smacks us with it. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. So he has this passive Slime Split whenever you start the turn at even life total, double your maximum health and anger. It's actually really hard to play around this because, especially with Chain, your damage is so erratic. It's like 14 to 19. How do I know if I'm going to get him down to an even cost? So if I pass the turn now, his maximum health will double. And then his damage, a lot of it is based on his maximum health. So if that goes on for just 2-3 turns, he can just one-shot you. But we have so much Chain now that these abilities will just kill him anyhow. So, not big for that. Okay, this is one of the most important levels because this is pretty much the only one where you can upgrade your energy generation. So 99% of the games, you're just going to take the energy that's relevant for your class. In this case, we're going to be taking Greater Intellect. That being said, Spell Fury here is an amazing talent for Chain because it creates a free copy of the first magic, non-basic attack action you play during your combat. So it's just like Twincasting, essentially. You just get like a free copy of the first thing you play. Obviously in Chain, we just want to play lots of Chain cards. It's amazing. That being said, Greater Intellect right now is the better overall play. Oh, here on the left, we have a Scholar card. So this one says draw any card, and if we have Scholar, which again, the Scholar condition was, it says here at the top of the screen, your deck contained 20 or more cards at the start of combat. You also gain energy. So it essentially makes this card free. We currently are nowhere near that, so that would just be filling up our deck. So we're just going to pass on that, use our weapon power to heal a bit. We've got 100 gold. We're going to look at the merchant stock again. Nothing interesting for us here. Festering Shambler, this froggy. So this frog is kind of similar to the big slime guy that he does a lot of damage based on his max health, which can be really annoying. Let's see how low we can get him. I mean, we can just kill him. That's how low we can get him. So we're now at the part of the game where our build is really starting to come together. We're doing a lot of damage. We're slowly moving away from taking out enemies on turn 2 to turn 1. Which is really a heck of a place you want to be. So I had quite a lot of energy there with only one ability to spend it on, so I just played Twincasting. So this combat copy, conjure a free copy of the first magic action you play each turn. The first magic action we're going to play should be this Chainlightning. So now we just got a free copy, right? We're going to play these two. We're going to draw some more cards. Nothing playable there. That was pretty cool. We got a free Chainlightning off. Unfortunately, Chain does not carry over between turns. All the stacks we just built there got lost. That doesn't matter much. I think this is a good opportunity to play these ill-gotten gains. You'll see I get 50 gold and it'll add a greed to my deck. No biggie. We're just going to crack on here. See Twincasting conjuring us a free copy. We're going to hit the opponent. Will this kill him? Nope, bring him down to 2 though. So these Blighted Warriors can be a bit nasty. However, they're mainly annoying to play against if you're a melee class because they have a lot of armor. And they gain impervious if you yourself are attacking them with melee attacks. We're not doing any of that. Okay, Stray Lights. These are funny little guys. Let's even see if we get to a point where this matters at all. No, so we killed them in 1 turn. Maybe I can show you on the next one. Nothing interesting. Let's keep on going. Activate our weapon power to gain some life. Let's go to the next Stray Light. So the Stray Light has this ability up here, Ethereal. This is not the only enemy in the game that has this. What this says is at the start of your turn, heal all damage, lose 5 maximum health. I'm going to spare this little Stray Light's life and to show you what happens. I'm going to hit it with the Forcewand. See, it took 5 damage. I'm going to pass the turn and it's going to heal itself. Bam, so it's back to full health. However, when the Stray Light passes the turn, or when at the start of its turn, it's going to lose 5 maximum health. So I can show you again. I'm just going to pass. And now it goes down from 29 to 24. So each turn it loses maximum health, but it heals up to that maximum again. Anyhow, let's kill him before he keeps on doing that. It gets really annoying. There is a mini boss at one of the later levels that has like a bunch of health on the higher difficulties that has that ability. Oof, that can be really hard to get through if you don't have a build that does a lot of damage all at once. But I think we're at the point now where we're going to be taking down most enemies very quickly. Nothing interesting. Opportunity. Golden statuette. This is funny. The take the idol. We're gonna look away. We're gonna continue. We're gonna grab it. This is like a funny little thing. It's like an okay card. It's a bit YOLO because what it does is it kind of permanently, or sorry, temporarily shuffles the energy around the cards you have in your hand. So it can be really good. It can be really terrible. But if you manage to find the NPC, the collector, what the collector will do for you is you can give him cards and he will give you other cards in return. And if you give him the idol, he goes absolutely apeshit and is like super happy. And I actually don't remember what exactly he gives you. But he gives you something really good. Anyhow, I don't think we're going to find the collector. I think you usually find him earlier than this, if you're going to find him at all. So what we're just going to do with it is we're going to transmute it. That being said, I will check all of the opportunity chests before I transmute it away because I'm actually not entirely sure what the last level is where you can find the collector. Okay, we're about half health. Let's heal up a little bit. Let's go to blacksmith. Let's upgrade our chain lightning again. Yeah, let's heal ourselves again. Alchemist. Okay, don't think there's any more opportunities here. I'm just gonna go to the alchemist. I'm gonna change the card of equal rarity because oh no, I thought this was legendary. Okay, I should have changed pick the other ability, but we're gonna turn this into something else. This stuff's all kind of rubbish, but to be honest, just getting rid of the card is fine too. Another opportunity. The card game. This is actually really cool. Now, I can never remember which one of these abilities does what, but they all do something interesting. Some of them are really good for some builds, some of them are really bad for others. If you find the ability called the Wheel, if you ask me, that's the best one, because basically what it does is every time you play a card, you draw a card. It's almost impossible to lose if you have the Wheel. The caveat here is this only lasts for the current Canto, so when we move on from this Canto, this will get deleted again. I literally can't remember what any of these do anytime. I'm just going to pick the Hourglass, see what it does. So now we have this ability up here. Whenever you play an action, gain 1 haste. That's actually really good. I'll take it. That's amazing. Some of them are like, it does damage to both you and your opponent, or like poisons both of you or heals both of you. There's lots of funny stuff going on here. Shrine of Stability adds Reliable. That's really good. What Reliable does is you can play it when you're like stunned. It'll hit opponents who have certain conditions. So here Reliable says, the Ambush Bloodless Cascade continue final flanking flow and frenzy conditions are always met. Reliable cards ignore disabling conditions like stun, pin, dominate. So if an opponent stuns you, you can still play this card. That can be really, really, really valuable against some opponents. That, bam. Get out of here. We're approaching 20 cards here that we're going to be getting rid of that greed. Nah, that's all good. Still have a campsite here. I'm going to use that to remove this greed. Lost Ranger, still a few enemies straggling. Let's get all of them before we go to the boss. I played that in the wrong order. Whoops. Yeah, I should have done that. So we now have 6 haste. That means basically the next few cards we play are just all going to be completely free. Cool, okay. None of these are interesting. Weapon training can help the survivability a bit, so can Sacred Shield. Okay, none of these are brilliant. I'm just going to take... So there are a few talents you can get where Craftsman is really good. I'm just going to go all out on trying to upgrade our Chain Lightnings here and take Craftsman. Shrine. This is funny. So you can give it a card, and it will change its casting cost into blood. So you're not going to be paying mana for it anymore. You're just going to be paying life. Um, I don't even think this is actually that good for our deck. There are some decks where that is amazing for. It's literally like make or break if you get something like that, because then you can start playing like a super overcosted card for essentially free and just like bust your run wide open. I don't really think it's too relevant for us. I would actually rather sit back and be a little bit safe with our life total here. Just pass. So because of this hourglass thing we got from those silly skeletons, we now have 5 haste, so the next 5 cards we draw are all going to cost 1 less. Basically free. I'm going to use that potion we got to draw some more free cards. I'm quite positive we can kill Bolgar from this position. Yeah, easy. Nothing interesting. Bolgar's gonna be all like, oh, whatever, why are you in my swamp? I'll join you, and now we have recruited the Enchanter. Explore the area a little bit more. Was there anything left here? There was one more campsite. We'll use that to rest to get to full health. The next core level are the Ember Mines. Yeah, Serena Hellspark. So this level is interesting because there are 2 final enemies you can kind of choose from. Serena being one of them. Bear Trap, we can either remove a card or we're just going to continue, bam, take 10 damage. This also means we're going to start the next combat in a Bear Trap. So we're going to have pinned on us, pin 3, which is a little bit annoying. You know, I'm just going to finally use this health potion. What pin does, we can only play the left or the right cards in our hand. You can see the middle ones are all red. I can't play this card right now. This is like super bad for some builds. It's not so bad for us because all our chain cards all boost the other ones. Like, yes, there is an optimal order to play them in, but it's not really make or break. These Amber Elementals are fun. They have this Amber Infusion thing here that starts at 10. Some abilities that they play make it go down. If we kill him while he's, let's say, got 9 stacks like he has here, all the cards that appear in the window after we defeat him will be upgraded by the amount of the Amber Infusion. So now it's down to 7. So if we kill him now, all those cards will have 7 upgrades on them, which for some cards can be pretty damn good. Let's see what we find. Okay, so this Lightning Bolt, for instance, has already been upgraded 7 times. That's pretty cool. That being said, Lightning Bolt is not really where we want to be right now. We've already got Chain Lightning. We've got the actual cool cards. So, randomly got plus 10 maximum health. Very nice. Let's go to the merchant. We've got 200 gold. Wildstorm is a cool card. I'm not going to get it, though. Yeah, nothing great here. I'm just going to take Sharpening Stone and use it once to upgrade a basic attack. Font of Purity, we'll just bottle the water. If you're playing some kind of corrupted build where you want to have those like cards in your deck that hurt you, don't ever drink the water at that opportunity because it will just remove all of the corrupted cards in your deck, and you might as well restart the run at that point. Easy. Another Conduit. Ooh, okay, here's the Enchanter. So we can have to pay 25 gold to memorize or 100 gold to imbue, imbuing Twincasting. Okay, our build just got like a trillion times better. So this is now basically attached to our character from turn 1. It's just always there. We don't have to pay anything for it. I'm going to play this. I'm going to get another free copy of it. I'm going to play this. And you see how I said about having like 99 conduits? You see how many conduits I have? I can just play them for free, make my chain go up like nuts, and just draw a bunch more cards. That's why having a bunch of them is really good. It doesn't really matter who I fight against here first. Let's see. Bam, bam, bam. Nine chain, I'll play this. How much will this do? 17. I'm gonna hold on to that Gathering Storm, let it accrue a little bit more echo. Maybe it would be a bit more useful in 1 or 2 turns. Okay, which one of these is the better chain? Because that's the one we want to play first, because that's the one the Twinlightning will create the copy of. Easy. I'm actually gonna take this. Ooh, that Surge Stone is actually interesting. So this is funny. This is a Surge Stone with 10 upgrades on it. That's actually really, really good for a Surge Stone build. We're just not playing that build. One day if you ever try to Surge Stone build, think about the 10 upgraded Surge Stone that was passed on here. Shrine. Shrine of Levity. Ooh, this is one that I love. So you place a card in its hand and it reduces 1 energy from the cost. We're going to give it our best card, obviously. There are some funny combos you can do with that, where like cards that are kind of balanced by having an energy card by making them free just makes them go absolutely nuts. We're going to throw a weapon to the fire. These basic attacks aren't really doing much for us anyhow. This will just give us a random other card. That is a horrendous card for our build, and I do not want it. I'm going to try and get rid of that. Let's upgrade our best cards. That'll reset our weapon power. Let's get a heal. I think this shrine is a mirror. Yeah, so we can give it a card. It'll duplicate the card. We now have another free upgraded Chain Lightning. It's all going very well. The best thing we could probably do now is get these Chain Lightnings memorized, so that they're just always in our starting hand. Because now we're still running into danger that we could just not draw them at the right time and then just die. Don't want Devotion. Upgrade all your basics. We're not using any basics. Random enchantment, no. Start each combo chain equal to your level. These are all pretty good. Diamond Mine is good because Diamond Mine is actually pretty good because it's very good against one of the bosses here. Jinx, Dominated, Dazzled. I'm just gonna go all out greedy on the damage with Stormbringer, I think. Probably not actually the best choice here, but we're playing Chain. We're gonna add some Chain. So, see, now I start the combat with 6. So I will just kill people even faster. Nothing interesting. I'll just blow through all these opponents here. So I don't know if you saw how quickly my chain went up there, because this is like, now I'm at 6, now I'm at 22, now I'm at 58. You know, it just, with those chain lightnings, because they're adding as much chain as they're doing damage, just explodes. Energy Shield, I'm going to take this not because I want to use it, but because I want to use the Alchemist to transmute it and see if we can get something else good. You get another Chain Lightning. I'm actually going to get... Do I want to take this Blood Magic? I'm going to take another Chain Lightning. Why not? Best chain card. Blah, 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 blah. Book. Tunnel, you can go left and fight a mini-boss or go right and get some gold. The gold is a lot easier to get if you have a dexterity or strength build, because they can either like break through the trap or sneak through it, whereas as a mage you have to give away a card. We don't want to do that. So I'm just going to actually go to the left tunnel, and we are going to fight this little mini boss. So this guy has that same ability again, where he heals himself at the end of every turn and loses 5 max health. Immune to bleeding stun because he's undead. But I am just kind of hoping here that we can just kill him in 1 turn and don't have to deal with any of those mechanics. Why learn how the game works when you can just kill your opponent? I'm going to use one of these campsites to get rid of this Holy Fire. It's kind of annoying me. I don't ever want to draw that. Let's go fight Serena Hellspark. So there are dialogue options here you can pick to either fight this character here, Viola, or the Serena. Because I didn't pick up the Amber Stone before, I do not have the option. I need to fight Viola. Honestly, I would have preferred to fight Serena. I think for a chain build, she is a much easier fight. Her gimmick is kind of that uh, she inflicts dominated on you, which means she gets to pick what cards you play. But in a chain build, it's like they're all really good. It doesn't really matter which one you play first. You're probably going to end up going completely out of control anyhow. Viola's gimmick is that she has this like weird charm shield. She can dispel blessings from you, and she applies Jinx, which is sort of like a preemptive counter spell. So you're gonna see I'm gonna play Chain Lightning, and it's gonna get countered. It's not gonna do anything. I'm gonna play Conduit. It's gonna get countered. It's not gonna do anything. And now I can start playing normal cards. So our build is pretty good at this point. She wasn't gonna do much to us there. Whatever. Oh yeah, and now she gets her revenge. Banishes the demon. If you fight against the demon instead, you can actually choose to recruit the demon, which has some fun possibilities as well. I would have actually said with this run, recruiting the demon would have been a lot smarter because we're going down the deep again. This is the core level. Viola heals you, and we're pretty strong at this point. Our weapon power heals us. We don't really need the additional healing. Whatever. Easy. Nothing good here. We've got over 100 gold. Let's look at the merchant. Could take another conduit. Let's see if there's something even cooler. There is a counter spell. I'm gonna take that just to try to transmute it into something super cool. I guess you never know. Oh, mini boss, Cursed Kraken. This guy can get really annoying if the fight goes on too long because he kind of messes with your deck. My hope is that we can just kill him before any of that becomes an issue. Yeah, so you kind of saw there, we didn't really manage to kill him in one turn. That was the difference between having Chain Lightning in your starting hand and not. Because Chain Lightning just adds so much chain. Okay, here's the Alchemist. Let's upgrade our our counter spell. I mean, sure. I will not say no to Chain Lightning. Let's upgrade one of our free Chain Lightnings, this one. I personally find it's good to just hyper focus on one of them. Oh, this is great. We can now memorize the free one because now I can memorize the one that just has the most upgrade. So I always have the best one. And also, if I at a later point get to copy a card, I can copy one that has had all the upgrades focused on it, and then I just have two versions of it. So again, this is a Chain Lightning opener. Played 3 cards, enemy's dead. Okay, let's see. Magical Ornaments. Oh, Spell Fury. Okay, that's a candidate. Diamond Mine, Sharp Mine. These are actually all pretty okay. Benevolent, totally worth it. Spell Fury, 100% taking that. It's kind of just like a second copy of Twincasting. So now when we play the memorized Chain Lightnings in our hand, we're going to get 2 free copies. And even just playing the first free copy was enough to kill the enemy there. Nah, not interested. Let's kill some more Octorets. These guys are super squish. Bam. Bam. So, on the normal difficulty, once you get the hang of the game a little bit more, you're going to notice that I'm just like blowing through all these enemies without even looking at their mechanics. I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what their plans are. They're all dying on the first turn anyhow. This is kind of where you probably notice that, oh, I kind of understand this build well enough. Let's try taking it to the next difficulty. at the beginning of the game, there's just so much going on. There's so many things to learn that the normal difficulty is going to keep you busy for quite a while until you understand all the keywords, you understand the mechanics, you understand what to go where, in what order, what to prioritize, what to ignore. So you would never be in a spot like this. However, because I've played enough that I sort of know what path to follow, this is sort of the state you end up in, where normal or the normal difficulty is just a bit too easy. That being said, let's enjoy this power while it lasts. You never know either. There's always just a chance you mess something up, an opponent does something silly you forgot about, and you die anyhow. I have gotten pretty far on some of the higher difficulties just to mess up once, or an opponent to have a mechanic I wasn't entirely sure about how it worked, and then to die last minute. But that's kind of the challenge of playing on Impossible. You're not really supposed to win. Let's memorize the second card. We're going to memorize the second free Chain Lightning. So now we essentially have 4 Chain Lightnings that are free because we have the initial one, and that's going to get copied twice. And then we have the 4th one that's also memorized. I mean, the Enchanter, I don't have anything to imbue, but I could memorize. Do I even want to memorize another thing here? You know what? Why not just memorize, another Chain Lightning. Core, the Onyx Cathedral, yeah. So this is the penultimate level just before the big bad. There is one little mechanic here I think is worth looking at. So you see at the top, there's these 3 faces: Seal of Agony, Seal of Hatred, Seal of Chaos. That's because this level kind of has 3 bosses, and each of them is applying a debuff to you. And whenever you kill them, the debuff gets removed, and instead a buff gets added. So right here we have the High Priest of Hatred. At the start of my turn, I'm burying a card in my deck. Burying is sort of like, it gets removed from your deck for the rest of that game. It gets added back after, but for the rest of that game, that card is gone. Anyhow, he's dead. So you're going to see the face at the top of the screen. It's going to turn into a golden one. Now, instead of having a card buried every turn, at the start of turn, we now gain 5 health. That is a lot better than losing our cards. The thing about burying the cards too is he's burying the top card of our deck, and because we memorized cards, the top card of our deck is probably like the card we wanted the most. Again, Chain tends to have a lot of redundancy, so it's not that big of a deal, but there are some... Fortuitous, gain 500 gold. Fortuitous is funny. There are some builds where getting 500 gold is like really good because you have like, you're doing damage like based on your gold and stuff. I don't think at this point in the game this really matters to us. I'm actually just going to roll it away. So Duplicity at the bottom. This card, had we gotten it earlier, would have been really, really good. So whenever we add a card to a deck we already own, we upgrade the existing copies 2 times. You see how many Chain Lightning I've added. Every time I'd added one, it would have upgraded all the other ones. It's so late in the game now, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just going to take Sharp Mind. Just does a bit more damage. Nothing cool here. Elusive Dreadlord. Okay, this one's good. He is a bit annoying in the sense that he has a bunch of health, but you have to kill him twice. So we're going to kill him here, and he's going to say, this isn't over. Victory, question mark. No cards, no experience. And we need to go find him and fight him again. So, yeah. Here's Summon Baylor as well. This is another kind of like mini boss. He also has a fun little gimmick. After 3 turns, he just disappears. And if you didn't manage to kill him by then, well, sucks to be you. But that was very easy for us, so we're having a great time. Oh, here's Risen Dreadlord number 2. By the way, I'm not playing this optimally. You know how I said there's these 3 debuffs at the beginning? I think overall the best strategy for the Cathedral is to probably get the 3 debuffs gone by just fighting the 3 bosses and then going back to the other enemies. because at the moment, for instance, we are paying life in addition to the energy we're paying. So we're actually hurting ourselves a whole bunch. But again, we're so overpowered at the moment. Like, what was that? So this is like a great build to take into the higher difficulties. I've never actually beaten Impossible with this build, I have to be honest. Because Impossible is just, as the name says, pretty damn impossible. But this is more than playable at most other difficulties. Bam. Goodbye, Baylor. Oh, actually, that would have been a really good enchantment to take. I clicked too quickly there. So that's the kind of stuff that happens when you get a bit complacent. Let's just go, you know what? I'm just going to go here. I'm actually just going to buy a potion. So yeah, you can also buy potions from her. They all have pretty straightforward effects. I don't actually need any. Just be kind of thought it'd be fun to look at real quick. Okay, here's the last one. Once we kill him, we won't have to pay life for our cards anymore. By the way, you can tell you're paying life for them, but you see like the little red energy cost. And every time I do it, you can see at the bottom left, I'm taking 1 damage. Ooh, victory. He's dead. Priest of Agony. Shrine. Shrine of Power. Oh, you know what this would be great for? We're just gonna sacrifice the greed. Yay. So not only did we get a free upgrade there, we also got rid of a corrupted card. God, this is a lot of Baylors I'm running into. Damn, was it like the 3rd one already? Anyhow, it's not really like they're doing much. A pre-upgraded Twinlightning? Yeah, sure, why not? I unfortunately, well, I guess I clicked away on that one enchantment. I was kind of hoping I'd find another good enchantment. Let's upgrade one of these memorized chain lightnings. You can read all these little windows. They've got these little like poems and stuff. Yes, good. I don't actually know what they do. This is fun too, and you know I'm gonna do it just to show you what it does. 10 maximum health. I can drip blood into a cup. I will lose 10 health, and it'll convert one of these cards' costs to blood. And I'm gonna do it on the chain lightning that I've memorized. So now his chain memorized and cursed. I think cursed also means I can't remove it from my deck anymore. Chain. It's reliable, chain reliable, cursed. Yeah, so it says here at the bottom, cursed cards can't be transmuted or removed. I remember once I accidentally cursed something I really wanted to remove, and it just ruined my entire run. Oh, there's another Baylor. Why not? So many of you guys around. Oh, by the way, so now instead of those 3 debuffs, we've got these 3 buffs. One of them is giving us 1 ward at the start of turn. One of them is giving us a random virtue, which is this card, Chastity. Massive 6-pack. I guess we just got that. And there are a few other ones you can get. Some of them like give you health, some of them draw you an extra card. They're all just like generally like little boosts that you can get here and there. Let's go to the Enchanter. Unfortunately, nothing to view. Let's memorize yet another Chain Lightning. How original of me. These campsites aren't really going to be doing anything. Let's use our weapon power and go in for the final fight. Don't forget, before you go into the fight, to have activated your weapon power if it's like a weapon power that you need in the fight, because you do not get another chance to do it before this fight begins. So if you forget to do it before you go to the Lord of Despair, who is the final enemy, yeah, you just kind of don't have your weapon power. Anyhow, there you go. Lord of Despair down. We even get to level up. Let's see what we would have found. Fire immunity. That is really, really good on the higher difficulties because that guy we just killed, he will light your butt on fire and it does so much damage. So having fire immunity is good. Obviously, I'm just looking at these things for fun. Want to draw some more cards, sure. It'll look good in our post-game stats. And that's it. There's a victory. Just over an hour. I guess if I'd been playing without explaining, probably could have gotten that down to like 45 minutes. You know, it's not that long. So as you saw, this build super strong, super effective. This is done with all of the default loadout essentially that you get with the Arcanist. This is doable at a very very low level. And I would say once you've played this like once or twice, you've had some success with it, you can even move up to the higher difficulties where it'll be a lot more interesting. You'll be challenged a lot more, and you won't be able to just like blow your way through the layer cantos as I just did there. Anyhow, I hope that helped you a lot, and stay around for some more guides on the other characters.